Hey Mac, how's it hanging? Welcome to Mitchy Science Theater. Today we're going to discuss Season 9, Episode 7 Hobgoblins. The sci fi era of MST3K was a mixed bag to say the least. Some episodes are incredibly good, other episodes are eh. I don't think they created anything particularly terrible in terms of quality, as it still embodies what MST3K is all about. However, host segments sometimes struggle with presenting quality character interactions while remaining funny. Puma Man, Werewolf, and Gorgo are some examples of the most well-known episodes of Season 9. However, my personal favorite is Hobgoblins. I love rubber monster movies, especially Gremlins. If you couldn't tell by my massive Gremlins memorabilia collection I'm showing to you on screen. Hobgoblins is one of those crummy Gremlins ripoffs that came out to capitalize on that success. However, they missed the mark entirely on what makes Gremlins so good in the first place. From a terrible story and poor acting to the worst puppetry work I have ever seen, Hobgoblins is total MST3K fodder. For those of you who have not seen Hobgoblins, here's a brief summary. A movie studio has a vault of little monsters in it. Yes, you heard that right. Some old man who's a security guard for the studio locked these monsters up in the vault. These little monsters have the power to make people's greatest dreams come true right before killing them.
The crowd threw beef gravy on him.
Then some doofus named Kevin gets a job as a second security guard at the studio and lets out these hobgoblins. Way to go, Kevin, you silly goose! Thus these creatures follow him home, where they utilize his friends' fantasies to lure them in and try to kill them. Thus, chaos ensues! So, what makes this film a good pick for MST3K? Well, to answer this, we must analyze the filmmaking, you know? Well, what filmmaking there is. Other than the obvious answer that it is a bad film, there are far more details that make it a good choice for MST3K. First and foremost, there are plenty of elements of mise-en-scene and characteristics of the film to make fun of. When choosing films, they choose ones that are not too boring so that audiences can sit through it, and also, more importantly, riffs can be made about it. So they have a lot to think about when choosing a film. Here's some moments in which the crew was able to riff upon the movie. Even in the very beginning of the film, you can see that the camera shots are pretty far away. This is a repetitive problem that the film has.
Cameramen just can't get up the energy to get over there.
There are also scenes that gone on way too long that consist of absolutely nothing. You heard me right, no thing. For example, there is a fight between Kevin and the recently homebound member of the military, Nick. Oh, you'll never guess what the weapon of choice is. Is it A, pull cues, B, rakes, or C, butterfly nets? If you guessed garden rakes, you're right! This fight scene goes on forever, and it simply is not necessary at all. They just kind of bat rakes together for a total of 2 whole minutes. But unlike a normal fight scene, nothing interesting happens. They hit rakes together, and that's it.
Oh, wow. I could watch this forever.
Yeah.
You have a feeling I probably will be?
Yeah.
The plot of this beauteous film jumps everywhere without rhyme or reason. The hobgoblins are free, then they go to the house, then they trick one guy into going to make out Peak, then they make this woman go to a gentleman's club and be a performer, then a bunch of things happen there with everyone's fantasies. And the thing is, you don't know what's real or fake, which can make for some very subversive filmmaking if it wasn't for the fact that the acting, editing, and camera is all atrocious. So, not only is the film's plot not even put together in an even remotely interesting way, the individuals delivering the performances do not help the matter. For example, 2007's Norbit may be a bad film nonetheless, but at least they have somebody good under the helm like Eddie Murphy that can do some interesting acting. The acting in Hobgoblins is such a yawn. Oh, and did I mention Nick blows up? Yeah, somebody throws a hand grenade at him and he catches fire, and it's assumed he's dead until he returns in the final 5 minutes of the movie. Not only does it make him exploding a totally pointless endeavor, it's not even plausible. One cannot catch on fire the way he did and live.
So the result of his complete immolation is just minor redness and irritation.
Yeah.
Now, as a puppet enthusiast, this film has some of the most atrocious puppets ever. The truth is, they actually only had one working puppet in the film that had mouth movement capabilities. The rest were pretty much glorified plush toys. So, majority of the movie has characters with zero life in it at all, somehow performing actions important to the plot. And to couple that with the bad acting, well, it's like the puppets in the film aren't even there. Just watch the actors pretend they're being attacked by the Hobgoblins by holding the puppets onto themselves.
Koala bears are attacking!
We hate Qantas. Grrr.
There's a girl touching me. Yuck.
If you just let go, they'll hit the floor.
Then, there is the fact that there is a lot of blatant sexualization in the film. Is it necessary to the plot? Absolutely not. Is it even well portrayed? No. It is just an awkward mess, ripe for the ability to make fun of it. MST3K has always really been about the quality of the movie first and foremost. A bad movie has to be so bad it's good. Of course, there have been some exceptions to that rule that I'll get to someday, but for the most part, one needs a film that can be laughed at even without the riffs from Mike and the Bots. This film has that under the belt for all of the reasons I have mentioned before. Now, of course, you can't talk about Mitchy Science Theater without discussing the host segments, of course, so let's talk about what this episode has to offer. And because your time is valuable, I'll rate each with a watch it or skip it. I would say out of the sci-fi era, the host segments in this episode are among the stronger ones. The first host segment for the beginning of the episode features Mike and Tom Servo in an argument. The argument includes the fact that Tom Servo accidentally turned Mike on. Oh boy.
Well, I'm sorry, Mike.
Well, there, you just did it again.
What the...
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Satellite of Love. Servo and I here, we're just talking.
Look, I didn't mean to turn you on, and I'm really sorry.
This argument is based on Robert Palmer's song, I Didn't Mean to Turn You On. Then, Crow pops up and unintentionally turns them on.
Hey there, guys. What's up?
The Crow?
Oh, no. Did I just turn you on again?
Yes, you know you did.
Boy.
Jeez.
This is classic MST3K formula, showing the goofy relationship between Mike and the Bots. While Joel is a father figure, Mike is a brother to them. This one gets a watch, as it is traditionally classic MST3K. That host segment leads into Pearl Forrester presenting the movie. Observer beams up an incredibly nice rent-to-own couch, then Mike and the Bots, in footy pajamas mind you, jump on the couch, squeezing grape juice all over it, thus continuing to cement this brother-like relationship. And, if you couldn't tell, Pearl didn't like this very much.
Oh, we can't have nice things. That's it. That is it. I am going to give you such a movie.
This is where she gives in the movie Hobgoblins as a punishment. Here's our framing device. Of course, this one gets a watch as well. A nice, fun setup with the film that actually not only furthers the brotherly aspect of Mike and the Bots, but also just shows the comedic range of Bill, Kevin, and Mike. The next host segment involves Crow, that rapscallion. He notices that Hobgoblins portrays women in a demeaning outlook. Thus, he makes a short film to educate the facts. Here's how it looks.
Ah, women. Women, 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 women. For you young fellows fresh on the cusp of a blooming manhood, the questions abound. What are women like? What do women want? How should I treat a woman? Perhaps the thorniest problem facing any young man is finding a woman in the first place. It turns out to be nearly impossible.
Of course, in typical Crow fashion, he acts like women are Bigfoot, nowhere in sight. Here's a secret for you. As a young dragon, I performed an adaptation of this at a drama monologue show. It is one of my favorite host segments of the show. In the opening, they even include a mirage of women in popular culture, from Lucille Ball to Lucy from Charlie Brown. Heh, two Lucys. From Crow posing as a guy who had a supposed interaction with women, including marriage.
And then, this woman, well, I think it was a woman, she, married me.
Did you have any children, sir?
I don't remember.
To saying the closest to a woman they found on the satellite was Mike. After all I've said, of course I'm going to give it the rating of watch it. Of course, in typical Mystery Science Theater 3000, this movie is terrible enough to incite needing therapy. Thus, Crow starts a Hobgoblins crisis hotline in the next host segment. However, it backfires when Pearl Forrester's crony Professor Bobo calls in.
One day, I was watching the movie Hobgoblins one day when I realized that while watching the movie Hobgoblins that I was in love with a woman very close to me. A woman not of my species.
Ugh, 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 that is disgusting. Ugh, I need a shower now. Yuck.
To which Crow hangs up, thinking he's a sicko, only to discover Professor Bobo was later talking about a chimpanzee that he simply cannot live without.
No, I'll die without her. She's a chimpanzee and her name is Emily. And I don't care if anyone... Hello?
While this host segment is okay, it's not among the stronger ones. Of course, in typical Bobo fashion, there's some fun stuff here, as Kevin Murphy always does a good job at portraying a certain innocence with Bobo, which really drives home the main punchline of this particular sketch. However, this episode without his host segment may not be very different. With that, I give it a skip. Next host segment is a wacky circumstance to say the least. Oh boy. It's another escape scheme so that they don't have to watch the film. But how stupid do they think Pearl and friends are? Well, apparently very stupid, because in the theater, Mike and the bots replace themselves with cardboard cutouts with predetermined phrases and riffs.
We need a stage diversion, and I have just what you need.
Okay, now I just hit this tape recorder right here and...
Okay, here comes this guy. What's he up to? Boy, this is stupid. I wouldn't do that, would you?
This bleeds into the host segment, where these cutouts sing a little song about hobgoblins, and this leaves Pearl to say that their performance seems a little flat.
Pinky, Rain, take a look at this. Something is different.
But the Observer is quick to point out that they're actually cardboard cutouts.
Listen, you idiots! And Pearl, you of course do. It's a fake bike and fake robots made of cardboard. Look!
Thus, the cardboard cutouts lost power and fall over, as you see Mike and the bots trying to sneak out to a tropical vacation.
Oh boy.
Hobgoblins.
Hobgoblins. What do you...
Run!
With how absurd this premise is, it is definitely deserving of a watch, as you view it and think, how stupid can this set of mads be? Now that this nightmarish sorry excuse for a movie's over, let's look at the closing sketches. It begins with Tom Servo claiming the fact that he utilized the time machine. I Guess they just have one of those lying around the satellite, you know, who doesn't? Anyways, he used the time machine to go back in time and try to convince director, editor, cinematographer, and writer Rick Sloan to never ever make Hobgoblins. And what's his plan?
I hunted down Rick Sloan and I kicked him, Mike, right in his shin.
However, this plan more or less backfired.
I'm doing my biography of Rick Sloan here, doing my research. And listen to this. Rick Sloan says the inspiration for his film Hobgoblins is like a stout red automaton kicking him in the shins.
You know, one thing I like is Rick Sloan gets a lot of flack in this episode, and I think that's unique to this episode, as they only really attack the crew of the films on certain occasions. Thus, this deserves a watch. Now that we've got host segments out of the way, let's talk about the action in the theater. Let's talk about the kinds of jokes we see in the episode, in the theater, to be specific. In terms of visual gags, there are actually some really good ones in this episode. These visual gags are also actually very iconic to this episode. This includes a string of jokes where Kevin is walking towards the screen and the silhouettes were where his crotch is.
Real drive metropolis now.
Oh man, his pants are coming at me. Oh.
Wait a minute, what's this?
There are two moments where cardboard cutouts are used as well. One where they have automated jokes as they put cardboard cutouts of themselves on the screen to avoid having to watch the movie. There was another moment where Tom Servo brings in a cardboard cutout of director Rick Sloan. In this, they imitate his voice and brutally mock him.
Are you, in fact, a total idiot? Say yes.
Yes, I am an idiot. That is correct. How penetratingly intelligent of you to notice.
You know, Servo, I couldn't help but notice
Stay
he's
out
not...
of it, Nelson.
Okay, right.
This is some of the most savage attacks since they went after Sandy Frank in the Gamera episodes in Time of the Apes. Fun fact, Rick Sloan enjoyed the riff of the film until the end, where he was surprised to be ridiculed like this. And you know what? It's not often that the crew goes after the director, so I think he should feel honored. Now that I've discussed the events in the theater worth noting, here are my top 25 riffs of the episode in no particular order.
Now stop wasting your money calling me. I'm right outside your door.
Is Fran Drescher out there?
Keep me waiting.
I don't like the way you greeted me at Walmart.
Okay, we'll take your literature, but we're trying to watch our program right now.
I knew I'd find a use for this.
So the army just hands out grenades, huh?
I don't like the old guy getting killed channel.
Take on me, take me on. Meet the Hobgoblins. Frankie, Sniffles, Bounce Bounce, and the Claw.
It's the 80s. Do a lot of coke and vote for Ronald Reagan.
Just take this stupid jacket with you.
You and your stupid thoughtfulness can go to hell.
He was back there trying to push your car over the cliff. Hey, come on!
In an unforeseen tragedy, the two actors were not in the car at the time of the crash.
Damn.
Can we have a law that in the future films have to be made by filmmakers? Their garden tools make little Casio sounds.
Hit the creature!
The puppeteer's knuckles must be very bloody by now. So, it's a security guard training film.
You know, I think we actually are fully qualified security guards now.
I'd love to get out of the rat race and guard a used store for a while.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great.
Enough with the Count Chocula music. Jeez.
Take it easy, take it easy. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome.
I want you to make me proud.
Pee Wee Herman casual wear. Scram, it's the owner of the house. We have to shoot the movie somewhere else.
What?
Oh, big man, you strangle a plush toy.
Someone's rubbing puppets on us.
Name, rank, serial number.
Don't shoot me. I'm just an employee. I don't even book the talent here.
Proof there is no life after drama club.
Look, I'm trying to get off you. My claws are stuck. Could you help out?
Chord, 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 other chord. Chord, 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 other chord.
Whoa, everybody have sex tonight.
Everybody throw up tonight.
Wish that were up to you, son.
Did you say something?
No.
Ironically, no one in the band Wang Chung had sex that night.
That guy tipped his own table over. He did it again. And yet again. What is this?
Hobgoblins is an exceptionally good episode of the sci-fi era. As I mentioned before, I don't personally have any beef with this era, but I would consider myself more of a Comedy Central era fan myself, as some of my favorite cast members were there. However, many things make this episode specifically so unique. Not only was Hobgoblins a perfect choice for the MST3K formula, some really good host segments and in-theater moments happen. If you would start with any episode in the sci-fi era, I would recommend this one, as it displays some of Kevin Murphy and Bill Corbett's best MST3K work and makes Pearl Forrester and her gang a little more tolerable. So, I give this episode a rating of watch it. Now, when I have more episodes under my belt, I will start ranking them as my own personal list to bring the Retrospective series full circle. I do highly recommend this episode, as it is one of the staple episodes of the show and an absolute highlight of the sci-fi era. With that being said, that's it! Tune in next time to see me cover Season 5, Episode 7, Ega! Push the button, Quattro.